Hi guys, so this is the follow-up video for my planners for 2019, and this one is not a planner. I don't use it as a planner. As I mentioned before, I'm using my Giglio Punto for planning, and also for journaling every day. And I love this guy. Watch the prior video if you want to learn more about this baby. And then this one I use as my junk journaling. I've recently fell down the rabbit hole of junk journaling and I love it. I love fat things. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And I love it when things get chunky and they feel good to the touch. So here's some of the things. So I'm using a, this may be a Webster's TN, Traveler's Notebook. And I got this last year or 2 years ago, and it has the ruffles on it. I love ruffles. It has the nude pink color with a string. And it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 signatures in it. And so I have 2 TNs in it. And one I made completely from scratch, just because, like I said, I was into the whole Traveler's Notebook, junk journaling. So this is the first TN, and what I did is I took some vellum here. I avocado dyed all the pages and baked them. I sewed in the signature myself using a needle, and you can see how it's sewn here. And I prepared this to start writing some things, and unfortunately this is not coming off on the camera properly, but this is like a nude pink color paper and it feels great to the touch. It's wrinkly. So I avocado dyed it, I baked it, and then I ironed it. Seems like a lot of work, totally worth it. And then this is just a old piece of paper that I have cardstock, and I made this flower on my Cricut and a little charm here of a hamsa that I have put in. And this is some more avocado dyed paper, actually. You can hear it. And there's some more. This is some more. This is tea dyed, actually. You can see the difference in the color. Tea and coffee dyed comes off more as yellow. And then the pink is avocado dyed. And there it is. These are some receipt papers that I have. And then another piece of cardstock with index card that has been gone through the same process. This is a vellum, piece of paper piece, more pages. And then this is I want to say this is a Project Life pocket that I've simply put in before I sewed in the signature. And this is a tag that I cut out on my Cricut using cardstock. And let's see. And then this is the middle of it. Some more papers, the other side of that pocket with another 2 gift cards, not gift cards, tags. And then here is a pocket that I sewed on. And just with a sewing machine, I took what you would call a piece of cardstock that's left over for making dashboards. So I just sewed it on here to make a pocket. And there is the sewing right there. And this is a lot of fun to make. This is a pocket. This is from a Planner Society packaging that I simply took and made into a flip-up pocket. Some more pages. And by the way, this smells amazing. It smells like lavender. I took old lavender oil that I used for candles and I simply rubbed it on some of the pages, and it really holds on to oil very, very well. It smells amazing. This is just magazine cutouts. More of that cardstock, and then the other side of the vellum. So the idea is to do stamping in here, to write in here. I'll show you what I'm doing in the other Traveler's Notebook that I have here, and then how I'm planning on using this one. So that's the first one. And this is another tag that I made with tea dyed paper on the back, glued onto a cardstock that I've stained. And then I have it just here. So this is the second traveler's notebook that I have. And what I did is I took a regular one that comes with Webster's pages and I covered it with a magazine piece. I really like it. It says optimism. So this is very pretty. Same thing here. I put a magazine cover. And then these are the things that I'm currently learning and just self-learning, like numerology, Italian, William Blake, Neville Goddard, musical notes and sound, like something called kymatics, and how sound vibration affects everything around it. Energy and vibration, Santos Bonacci, colors, light, the red shift, blue shift, and how they affect how light is created. The brain, electricity and magnetism, gematria and sacred geometry, the elements, and those who inspired me, and then Stoicism, the physical, the body, biblical research. I've been reading the Bible again, Old and New Testaments, Egyptian mythology, astrology. These are all the things that I've learned for really decades, but I've never really put them down anywhere. So I wanted to start doing that. It's something I just started recently, to actually put my thoughts on paper. So this is something that's, I don't know if any of you know about Neville Goddard, but I highly recommend looking him up. He's a little bit hard to get at first. I suggest trying a little bit and see if it resonates with you. These are the 12 disciples of mind, or 12 qualities of mind, which are the 12 disciples of Jesus, if you will. And then really understanding the causation of your life, right? And how to understand it, how to understand the material world and how it gets created. And then this is Ayn Rand, which I've read her many, many years ago. She influenced me in some way. I want to be able to write about her, so I can prepare this. And then I have, this is Alan Watts, another great philosopher, really very, very knowledgeable person. Highly recommend listening to him if you are on this path. And then Terence McKenna will also enlighten you. I just want to write down the things that I've learned from them. And then here is Latin. One of the things I'm learning is Latin. So I put that here, the meaning, the symbolical meaning behind what's on the dollar sign, what it means, what's the meaning of it, what's the purpose, right? The phrases, counting, words. Here is Hebrew. Now Hebrew is my first language, so I understand Hebrew, so I wrote it down anyway. I wrote down the numerical value of the alphabet of Hebrew. And so that's the Hebrew one. And then Jordan Peterson is someone I've learned about several years ago. I also want to write a little bit about him. Nietzsche is a great philosopher, also familiar with him, so I want to write down what I've learned from him. And by the way, here I've just used, I think, an alcohol marker for this page. And then this is Carl Jung, of course, great mind in psychology, psychoanalysis. Want to write what I know about him as well. And then Wim Hof method. This is something I just started this year, is to do the Wim Hof breathing method and what it means, how to breathe properly, right? And how breath and cold showers can actually change your autonomic system, physical system, if you will, your body, how it could change the physical manifestation of it. In essence, you're creating controlled hypoxia, which means you're restricting air and allowing it. It's no different than a tourniquet when you do it to your body if you were to block blood. If you've ever done Bikram yoga, I love Bikram yoga. I used to do it religiously for very long, and what it does is it restricts blood flow to certain areas of your body in a controlled pose, if you will, and then it you release the pose, which releases a gush of blood into that area, which oxygenates it. So I know a lot of information that I'm dumping a lot of information, so forgive me if it's too much, but that's it. And then letting the light in. So what I started doing is I started looking in magazines that if I look at an image that speaks to me, I kind of write about it a little bit. For example, there was this image. This is from Our House magazine for furniture, believe it or not. And when I saw this, it immediately reminded me of letting the light in and what it means to me, and how important light is, how important the sun is. So I talk about letting the light into your soul, and then letting it into your mind, meaning being flexible to new information, new ideas, letting it touch your body, being outside in the sun and feeling the warmth of the sun. What does it mean? What does it do for you? And then letting it into your soul and allow it to enlighten you. So those are things that I wrote about for this picture. This one specifically made me think about perception, because when I saw these images, for example, this is a tabletop. I don't know if you could see, this is a tabletop view from the top, and then this is a mirror. So if you look at different perceptions can allow you to see different things simply by rearranging your mind and how you think about things. So if you want to think about how somebody else may feel the way they do, just simply change your perspective, right? Look at it from top view, or look at it internally. How would you feel if you were in their shoes? And then this is just another magazine cutout that I really like. It talked about hugs. I am a touchy-feely person. I love biting, I love hugging, I love squeezing, I love touching. I'm just touchy-feely. And this one is about hugs and how important hugging is. So I included this piece because I want to write about how much I love doing those things, right? What does it mean to hug someone? And again, I just used some watercolor here, is just random. And then slowing down, what does it mean to me, right? I want to write about that. This is one of the things I wanted to write about, and these are magazine leftovers. I just love the colors, so I stuck them on here. And this talks about light and what light means and how light gets created, right? Electrical magnetism and dielectricity together make the light. And then the bottom part is dielectricity, magnetism, and gravity and mass create quasi-matter. So it kind of shows you about light, like learning about red shift, blue shift, like I mentioned before. Those are the things I'm learning about. This is just another watercolor, and then I have a stamp here, and I'm just preparing the pages for some more writing. And then these are some magazine cutouts that I want to glue in someplace at some point. I just thought they were gorgeous. This one says we are family, and this one says because I love you. They're a little vintagey, which I really like. Some more stamping here. Some more pieces of a cutout of a magazine. I just love the colors. Some more stamping. And then this is a beautiful magazine cutout, and I just tipped it in here. This is also from a magazine. This was an ad in a magazine, an ad for Tim Holtz, which I thought was beautiful. So I just glued it on 2 pages, and I'm gonna journal here. And then this one, I love this image. I love the colors in it. So I just cut it out and I put in some mindfulness word here to make it like a little fold out. This was a page that I created by seaming together 2 pages. And just covered it. And this, I love this also image cutout with a stamp here. Also stamp. More stamping. Just kind of preparing the journal for what I want to write. Another beautiful image. This is also from a magazine cover. It's beautiful. And then this is from Our House magazine cover. I just love the colors, and I love the way it feels. It feels like a recycled paper. This is also, so it's kind of like a tip-in. And then this is also a magazine that I just made into an extra large half a page there. Tipped in. This is the magazine cutout that I simply covered the back of the journal of the TN. And then this is the back side of it, which I didn't finish covering. And this is vellum. So this is my faux junk journal, I guess you can call it. And this one stays at home. I just use it to journal things that I'm learning and I want to capture somewhere. And I've prepared these two junk journals. So when I got into it, I made these two here. And I made these two for little girls, which I think is so cute. There are two little girls that I think would love this. And I was practicing, like this is sewn, I sewed this piece of acetate onto the tea-dyed paper. This is cardstock. And I put magazine pieces in it. Magazine pieces with some stickers. And then this is a little tag that I made with a little pocket that's sewed in. More stickers. More magazine pieces. And then this one, I went a little crazy. I put in a piece of lace and a vellum, and I sewed it all together right there. And then here's another tag and a piece of acetate left over sewn in to make a pocket. And then this is the middle of it, and you could see what I've done in this junk journal. Instead of creating a signature, I actually sewed all the pages together. I just ran a line down the middle, which sewed all the pages, and you can see. And then of course this is the other side of it. And that's it. And then I simply put a little clip on it. And here's the other one. It's no different, pretty similar. It has the pages and it's sewed in pieces. Here in this case, I sewed in the acetate on the side with a piece of avocado dyed paper here and some pages. And this is the other journal that I made. And this is, again, I made it from scratch by playing around with some papers. So this is Faith in Hebrew. And some pieces like, what do you call this? A vellum piece cut out. This is simply cardstock. This right here is a piece of burlap with some glitter fabric on the top of it, and I just sewed it all the way down. I sewed it on both sides, and if you look at this particular journal, I sewed it, instead of using a signature because I was still learning, what I did is I sewed it down the line. And you can see the signature right here. I mean, not signature, but the sewing line right down the line here. This is the middle. Isn't that a beautiful picture? So for this one, I did create a pocket, and I created a cloth fabric pocket with some scraps sewed in here. So there's like a dual pocket here and one here. And then this one says love in Hebrew. And it's like I sewed it in. I sewed all three. And I put in a tea-dyed paper on the back so you could journal. I just love this. And then I aged or distressed the tag all the way around. This is a magazine piece with avocado dyed paper on the back. And I hope the color is coming across. It's like a blush pink. Who would have thought avocado can give you blush pink juice? It's just so beautiful. Listen. I love that. And I just put in some cardstock here. This is a magazine. Here I sewed some lace to the paper. And I have some goodies in it, like note to self. There's a tag, and then one more right here. And I just distressed it when I made it. And then this is the other side. This is tea dyed. and this is avocado dyed. You can see the difference. This one's more yellowish brown, and this is more blush pink. And this is from a Flow magazine. Flow magazine for paper lovers. And this is also from the magazine. This is avocado dyed. This is magazine piece with tea dyed paper on the back. This one, being yourself is good enough. I just took a magazine cutout and sewed it onto this paper. You can see here with a bit of, what do you call this? Like, they make tutus out of it. I don't remember. This is a doily that I simply distressed. This is also a pocket here. And that's from the burlap. So you have two ways to do it. You could just tuck it in here because it's sewn in, or you could simply use the pocket. Like that. So this is also sewn in, and so you can use it as a tuck spot here. And this is simply canvas that I distressed. This is a piece of paper for journaling. This is the middle of the journal, this beautiful image. This is another piece of paper for journaling. This is the other side of the canvas piece. This is the other side. And this one says, I have Supreme Peace, which I really like. This is the other side of the doily that I didn't touch, I didn't distress. Avocado dyed paper. And then here I just made a little envelope and I decorated it and just tipped it in so it flips out. You can write on the back of it. I think what I did with this paper is I actually tea dyed it and then avocado dyed it or something like that because it has the varying colors. This is more magazine, journaling pages. This is a stamp. May all your dreams come true. I love the way this came out. This is the other side of the lace sewn on pocket. Other side of the magazine piece. And this is the other side of the front. And then here, what I did is I actually put a pocket on the top. So I just sewed it in right here. And I love the little bit of bling on these junk journals. And then I put in just a journaling card, I guess. It has beautiful backing to it as well. And then I made an envelope and sewed it on it so it can become a tuck spot and also a pocket spot. And then you just simply slip it down here, like so. And that's it for this journal. I just love this paper. And this is it for this one. Now this one, I could have cut the pages down, but I really like the way they stuck out. I love it. And once you fill it in, it can get really fat, which is really cute. So that's the junk journaling experience I've been on. And so that's it for this planner and how I use it. I think for the next video, I'm going to show you how I use my LV for finances and just household type of things. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.